2 years of devastating war. This ceasefire could mean an end to the conflict and allow a final reckoning. Because at the start of this war, after Hamas launched an attack that killed 1,200 people in October 2023, few would have thought it would last this long. This was the destruction in Gaza only a week into the conflict, mapped by using satellites, using infrared to assess damage. 4% of all the buildings in Gaza were damaged or destroyed, mainly in the north, around Gaza City. Just a few months later, the offensive had massively expanded, taking in Khan Yunis in the south too, with more than half of all buildings damaged or destroyed, nearly 170,000 in total. On January the 11th this year, just before the first failed ceasefire came into effect, that had gone up to 58%, with Rafah in the south being more targeted. And this is the most up-to-date picture we have. More than 60% of all buildings destroyed. The UN estimates that 90% of people's homes have been hit. Now, throughout the war, Israel has issued evacuation orders, although not in all cases. 71 were issued between January and July this year, indicating the scale of recent offensives. At the same time, the safe zones it had promised to Palestinians here in green have been diminishing. This was in May last year to this month. Vast swathes of Gaza now marked in red here as restricted areas. Israel vowed to take control of Gaza, and it largely did. 85% of the strip before the ceasefire agreement became a military zone. And that, of course, came at a huge human cost. Nearly 170,000 people injured, more than 67,000 people killed, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry. Now, they don't distinguish between fighters and civilians in those statistics, but the dead include more than 20,000 children who have been killed, around 1 in 3 of the total death count. The IDF says they've lost 466 Israeli soldiers in the conflict. And right up until the ceasefire announcement, Israel was still prosecuting this war with its full force. This was the week in Gaza City. The tanks will soon withdraw. The hostages held by Hamas will be freed. The rubble left behind is the next daunting task, rebuilding a land that lies in ruins, helping the people rebuild their lives.